Hey everyone, Andrigatz here, and today we are talking mounts, and more specifically we learn how to obtain this lovely mount called Thrayir, Eyes of the Siren. This lightning-empowered Stormcrow comes from Siren Isle, the new zone introduced in patch 1107, and believe it or not, Thrayir was actually data mined all the way back in Mists of Pandaria, which makes it one of the most anticipated mounts in-game. Thankfully, people figure out how to obtain this lovely mount, so I'm here to bring you all the juicy details, so yeah, let's go ahead and start. Once you get going through the intro quest in the Siren Isle, you will unlock the Forgotten Vault. Basically, on the northern part of the island, you will find the Sacred Hollow, and by interacting with the Sinking Tablet, you'll get access to the Forgotten Vault. In the right part of the map, or basically as you walk in, just go to the second turn on your left, you'll find the corpse of Thrayir surrounded by 5 runestones. To revive Thrayir and thus obtain him as a mount, our goal is to activate those 5 runestones by inputting 5 different types of rune keys. These keys can be obtained from doing different activities throughout the isle, so let's go through them one by one. Though before we get on with the keys, it's super important to understand how to change between the two phases of the Siren Isle, the default calm phase and the storm phase, where it's raining and a massive storm is hitting the isle. To activate the storm phase, you need to first complete the special zone assignment, which in return requires first completing the weekly world quest. This world quest rotates every week depending on the type of invaders. It can be either Naga, Pirates or Zek'ul. This week is a Zek'ul week, so we have to do the Legacy of the Zek'ul. After completing this, the special assignment now will unlock and you can head to Suzie Boltwrench, a goblin lady located at the base under the Zeppelin. By talking to her, you'll be able to switch between phases at will, even after completing the assignment. During the storm phase, new enemies and treasures appear, and for the most part, this is actually where we'll have to stay in order to obtain all 5 keys. So let's see what is the easiest way to actually get these keys. First of all, the Whirling Runekey drops from the rare sphere, the Forgotten, and it appears to be a guaranteed drop. This rare can be found inside the Forgotten Vault, same as Thrayir, and be sure to be in the storm phase. I'll have all the TomTom coordinates by the way down below, so make sure to check them out. Next, the Torrential Runekey comes in fragments and they drop from any mobs during the storm phase. You need to find 7 fragments in total and combine them to create the Runekey. Unfortunately, the drop chance is quite low, but if you join a group, it shouldn't take you more than a couple of hours. The best farming spot so far is the skeletons on the shore just outside of the Forgotten Vault cave. They're actually very easy to kill and they do hyperspawn, which makes it a great farming spot. There's also a ton of groups now, so you can easily nuke them down and get your fragments ASAP. Though, like I said, they do have a pretty low chance to drop them. In my case, I saw a drop every 15 to 20 minutes, so yeah, it kinda took me a couple of hours. It definitely could take you less time, of course it will entirely depend on how lucky you are. Speaking of luck, let's hope you are braced with enough patience or you are very lucky, cause this next key is a bit of a challenge to get. The Cyclonic Runekey drops from Zek'ul the Shipbreaker in the Deadfin Mire during the storm phase with the tiniest drop chance. People have reported that it has around a 2% drop chance, although we don't know if that's even for sure, as it's still pretty early on to make any assumptions. For me, it took around 100 kills. So yeah, be ready to spend a few hours over here if you are that unlucky as I was. And yeah, the good news is that you can indeed farm this rare as many times as you like, since it doesn't appear to have a daily lockout. As of writing this, you can use the pre-made group finder to hop between different groups. Just search for Zek and you'll be able to kill him over and over. Bear in mind though that the longer you wait to farm this octopus or kraken, whatever you wanna call it, the harder it will get to find active groups. However, Zek'ul is soloable with like 620 plus item level, but that said, solo farming will mean waiting for him to spawn on your own server, so using the premates is definitely the faster option. Moving on to a far less complicated key to obtain, the Turbulent Runekey requires you to find 3 runic fragments, and luckily there's no RNG involved. All you need to do is pick up 3 fragments found around Kultiran ghosts scattered on the island during the storm. Let's start off with the first fragment, which you can get from a dirt pile behind an abandoned inn next to a Kultiran ghost. Second fragment is inside a cave in front of a frightened Kultiran this time. It's easy to miss it as it's quite tiny, but it's literally in front of the ghost. And lastly, the third fragment is found in the Spirit Scarred Cave in the hands of the Kultiran ghost. You might need to zoom in a bit to be able to interact with it. Once you find all 3 runic fragments, combine them to create the Turbulent Runekey. And that brings us to the final key, the 5th key, the Thunderous Runekey, which once again comes in fragments. This time around though, you have to collect 5 fragments, and they can be found inside treasures at a very small chance, though this time you can farm both inside and outside of the storm. One way to do this is by collecting the big hidden yellow chests that are spread around the zone. You unlock them from completing the intro quest line and specifically the quest Uncover Memories. By completing this, you unlock the Runecaster's Eye, which allows you to find these treasures. Once you are in a close proximity, your character will emit a wind that guides you to them, and you'll make them appear with an extra action button. These chests can be found both inside and outside of the storm, and they do seem to have fixed locations, though you need to wait for them to respawn. After you do a few rounds of the island, you'll be able to remember where they are, but I will try and find some coordinates to put down. There is also a second way of gathering Thunderous fragments, which is by farming seafarers' caches that appear around the isle and specifically underwater. Though to find them, you need to complete first a quest from Apprentice Tarmar, which doesn't seem to be up this week. So I didn't actually try this method, but anyway, completing this quest will give you the blessing of Sea Dweller, allowing you to walk on the seafloor and find treasures. And this is where you can start circling around the island underwater to try and find these seafarers' caches. And bear in mind that these caches only appear outside of the storm. Now, if you want to compare the two methods, the actual drop chance of these fragments is said to be around 5% from the seafarers' caches and 20% from the golden big chest. Though who knows, I mean, it's RNG and it's still pretty early on. Once you get the 5 fragments, you can combine them and create the final Thunderous Runekey. When all runekeys are gathered, go back to the Forbidden Vault and activate all of the runestones. This will bring Thrayir back to life, giving you a quest which awards the mount. And that's how you can obtain this cool looking Stormcrow. If you have any other tips and tricks, share them down below or let us know if anything have changed if you are seeing this at a later time, so we can all learn from each other. As always, thank you so much for sticking around till the end, and make sure to drop a like if you have found this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe for more WoW coverage and hit the bell to stay up to date. Good luck with whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Oh my god, you guys!